Hey, welcome back. I'm doing something a little different today. Instead of doing it my little podcast in studio, I decided to do it in the car because it seems that everybody that has an auto blog, a podcast, video podcast about cars, does the podcast from their car. Don't know why, but I figured I'd try it. There must be something to it. So instead of being in the studio, I'm here in the Trackhawk, which of course is always fun to drive. Before I forget, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and like this video so we can keep them going, and share them with your friends. Let people know about this. A couple things in the news today. Number one, there was a law passed recently in Washington State, not a surprise, Washington State, that says that all vehicles after 2030 model year must be electric. And the law is a little different than some of the other states in that they're not just saying dealers can't sell electric, or rather internal combustion engines after 2030. They're saying dealers can't sell them and people can't register cars that are newer than a 2030 in Washington State. I don't know what happens if you move in from another state in 2035 and you have a 2033. Don't really know what happens in that case. But again, I think it's premature. Right now, they want to make all people in Washington State buy an electric 100% by 2030, by 2030. And right now, I think only 2% of car sales nationwide are all electric. We're not talking about hybrids. We're talking about a plug-in battery electric car. So yeah, the infrastructure's not there. There aren't enough cars. There aren't enough choices in the kinds of cars. There isn't enough range yet. There's range anxiety also because people that have electric cars and want to go long distances, they don't necessarily have charging stations everywhere. The infrastructure's not there. And if all of a sudden there are tons of electric cars and not enough charging stations, you're going to have to wait to charge your car if you're going anywhere. Of course, most people will probably charge their cars at home overnight, unless they live in an apartment and they don't have a garage in a house. Then what are they going to do? In any event, that's Washington State. Other western states are also on their way to doing that as well. California wants to be, I think, something like 68% electric by 2030 and 100% electric by 2035. I think Oregon is in the similar boat. But again, it's premature. There just aren't enough cars available. And besides, internal combustion engines are fantastic. They're clean, they're powerful, they're efficient, and you should let the market decide. If we were in a market where electric cars were so good that people were buying them and that 75% of sales were electrics, okay, you can understand that, but even then you wouldn't have to ban electric or internal combustion engines because people just naturally would buy the electrics because they were better. Again, let the market decide. So that's what's going on. I wish there were other things to report in the auto world other than electric stuff, but I scour the internet and publications for news in the auto industry, and that's all it is these days. That's what it's all about. It's all about electrics. One non-electric piece of news right now is that, and this is a couple weeks old, but Stellantis, the overlord of Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, has announced a couple of new engines, internal combustion engines. And this is kind of rare because they're really not doing much with internal combustion engines these days as far as development and so forth. But they've announced a couple of twin turbocharged straight six engines. And supposedly the horsepower ratings are really high. I mean, I think there's a 400 horsepower version and a 500 horsepower version. So it sounds like they want to phase out V8s. And V8s are so efficient now, and they're just so nice. They're so smooth. They're so powerful. The torque curve is fantastic. But, here we go again. In the rush towards getting rid of internal combustion engines, they're kind of phasing out the V8s, and I don't know what the holdup is here. Oops, sorry. It feels great. But in any event, this so Stellantis has two straight six twin turbocharged straight sixes in the hopper, and those will be coming out very shortly. And again, it sounds like they're going to use those to phase out V8s. With the 500 horse, they're probably going to say this is high performance, and 500 horse is high performance, but it's just, it's not a V8. And I think that's about it in the news this week. I didn't remind you before, so I'll remind you now. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when there's a new episode up. And like this episode, and share it with your friends. I'd like to get this channel going to a higher level. And again, I would love that. So thanks again. Good speaking with you, and we'll see you next time. Take care.